What high standard are you saying that
I
black
just
people are
wish that
held to? Because I don't think that the standard that we're held to is high at all. Look at what we entertain by. Look at our culture. Look at some of the things that we champion. I don't think that there's an argument that can be made by anybody that says that black people are held to a high standard.
as a black woman in tech who's worked at Tesla, Facebook, and Google at high levels, yes, I am expected to do 100 times more and then some and not complain about it. Or I will be perceived as lazy or argumentative or whatever. And so I find myself in other black women in non-black spaces fighting stereotypes that have nothing to do with us. So the standard is higher.
And that's you, because as a black man in tech who owns a cybersecurity consulting company, that's just not how it works. If you are conceived that way, it's because you are perceived that way. It's not because of you're not special. It's not a plight that is just special to you and black women. That's a plight special to working employees.
No.
It's not just for you. There's no difference. There's no invisible man in tech that is trying to make you work harder. You just have to be good because it's competitive. And a lot of the time, y'all make it the fact that everything is competitive seem like it's something y'all are being held back, and that's just not true.
I love to compete. That's not the issue.
And can I just say, most times, this competition that she talks about, to be quite honest, this competition that she talks about, most times are created by other minorities in that black women. I've been in tech for 10 years. I have 3 engineering degrees. And when I was in tech, the most difficulty I had with management or experiences was other black women who were in the field, who created an unhealthy work environment. That's how I was, if I even have to say that, that's the people I had to deal with, is me being in tech. So there is standards, but sometimes it's not created by the man we think is creating the illusion of a problem. Sometimes it's also our people. Let's be 100% about that.
For sure. And then there's also instances where, like where I was working, when one person makes a mistake, because they're all Indian, someone will cover that mistake, and then there will be another person who fills in the void and they don't tell the manager. And so all of a sudden, you have 6 different people working on your behalf, right? Even though you fucked up, you won't be held accountable for your fuck up because you have your people backing you. And I'm not saying that I'm a victim or anything. I'm saying when I'm held to a standard of, well, in my position, I was expected to be a lead. And I had very little support. When I would go to my colleagues to find questions or answers to questions, I was literally turned away and told to go figure it out on my own. Meanwhile, that same Indian dude literally protected his Indian buddy last week from being like.
Yeah, but that means you don't know how to play the game. To be quite honest, it shows you don't know how to play the corporate game. I don't mean to make you sound somehow way, because I've been in corporate and I had Indian, Asian, white. I had teammates and colleagues who helped me when I was lost.
And then behind your back,
if this means that your packaging or the way that you're presenting yourself at work, you're not creating an environment where you're able to create allies within your company who are willing to help you. You need to play the corporate game. I'm out of corporate, but I understand the game. I'm not saying that you may not have obstacles, but that is part of being corporate, and that's part of being intelligent. When I was in college, I hung out with the smart kids so that I could pass my test, and there was a whole bunch of different races, and I knew if I sat in front of the class, if I talked to the kids who I always saw were there, we're going to be a study group, and we're going to make it happen. That's called playing chess. Life is a game of chess, and you need to know all the boards you have and learn how to play your pawns, and that's moving.
You were correct in saying I'm not a good chess player because I came from a culture where I was told all you have to do is work hard. That's it. Out-compete your competitors and you will shine. I didn't know you had to play games. I didn't know you had to be manipulative. I didn't know you had to kiss ass. I thought my work would be enough. And what I learned was I had to prove myself, but my peers would. So here's an example, because I know it's not me. My mom's a nurse. And there is something called the Filipino Mafia at her job where they speak Tagalog at work. It's against policy. But if a nurse makes a mistake or one of their people in the community makes a mistake, they are on it to fix it. And I don't disagree that you have to work with others. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying though is in certain spaces, people will throw you underneath the bus simply because you are black or a man or a black man and woman, right? We don't have allies. So we have to be the best of the best of the best. That's what I'm saying.
I think what you're speaking to, though, and I think Miss Georgie kind of touched on it, and it's partially right. I'll support what she's saying, but bigger than that, if you're talking about from a community perspective, we still, as a community, overwhelmingly do not occupy spaces that are high performing spaces. We don't journey into tech. We don't overwhelm. We don't represent there. So what you're talking about is the cultural, tribal, communal combination of support.
I have a unique Black experience. I'm an immigrant, right? So I come from an immigrant background. So yeah, but where I come from, all my peers are Nigerian, Ghanaian, Asian.
No, and that makes sense.
I like I said, I don't know how to play the game because of where I came from.
No, because I'm Nigerian. I don't think that's what we're saying. And I think that you're not listening to him. And I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like, one thing I can tell you from just our banter, our collaborative banter on this panel is, and hear me, because I think I want you to hear me truly. I'm no longer in tech. I'm fully out. But I can say from the little that I've met you, you have a personality that if you don't quickly learn, if you don't quickly kowtow your packaging and presentation, I don't think you're going to be able to create allies. You're very, I don't want to say you're going to be off-putting to people within your space. And it doesn't matter how you say you don't know to play the game. Sometimes it's not about being manipulative. Sometimes it's just creating a safe space for you to have allies and people that see you as a collaborative person. And a little bit that I've just shared with you on this panel, I can tell you your issues is not because you're Black.
What is my issue then?
The way that people experience you.
So the way you experience me is my fault?
Yes.
How so?
Yeah.
Because the only reason why I experience you the way I do is because of how you portray yourself and how you present yourself to me.
I'm presenting myself in the way I think is the most authentic expression of me.
That's cool. And your authentic expression,
so
the way that people experience you.
But how do I control how you see me?
So this is the thing, right? Unless you're the boss, you have to actually figure out what works for other people. I'm about to if you stop talking. All you have to do when you're not the boss is just say, okay, hey, how can I work with these people? So instead of trying to ingratiate your people, trying to build with the people you're talking about, have this community, you want to be your authentic self, which isn't that. That's why you got the results you got. It's not because they have a community. It's because you didn't do what it took to become ingratiated to that community of people. Black people tend to be like that. We always want to be Black first. I'm not going to change. As soon as I get into this corporate job, I'm still not going to change. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to talk my shit. I'm going to pop my shit the way I want to because I'm authentically me. That shit doesn't work when you don't control anything. You were an employee. You weren't an employer, and you act like people owed you something as if you were the employer. No one owes you anything.
And nothing. I don't disagree with you, right? And we're on a panel having a conversation. We're not at work. I'm sharing with you my lived experience. You don't know what it's like to be in a leadership position and white men are underneath you and they literally will not work with you, right? They will literally ignore you and say, go figure it out on your own. And
that's not what we're saying. Hold on. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that the way you're coming off.
I've been in a leadership position and have white men under me because I hire them.
I didn't hire them.
Sometimes try not to listen to me. The difference between me and you is I'm in a power position where I can affect change. You're in an inferior position where all you can do is request change. That's the difference. And once you understand that, you would win. There's nothing else is going to happen to you because you understand your role.